very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in this afternoon for our session today, which is Reset Your Gut. Thank you, Dr. Dimple, for joining us this afternoon.
Absolute pleasure.
So pleasure to have you here. And without any further delay, we'll go into the session. And before that, I would like to briefly introduce you to our audience today, and then I'll hand over the session to you. So, Dr. Dimple is a celebrity health coach, a gut health expert specializing in the science of Ayurveda, and the founder of Prana Healthcare Center, an Ayurvedic Panchakarma center in Mumbai that has treated over 2,500 patients from across 45 countries. She was recently facilitated with an honorary doctorate from the presidents and fellows of National American University for her research on gut health and Ayurveda. In 2020, she also started Prana Academy for Ayurvedic Life Sciences by Jain Online, which introduced Ayurveda to about 24,000 students from 57 countries. Dimple has coached celebs in both Hollywood and Bollywood, including Juhi Chawla, Dev Patel, Anjali Tendulkar, Karan Grover, and other noted celebrities. Dimple has two successful TV shows, Ayurveda Diaries and Mary Jung, which have been broadcasted in English, Hindi, and Telugu and viewed over 45 plus million viewers. Her podcasts on superfoods were released on Amazon Audibles in Hindi and English. A warm welcome once again, Dr. Dimple, to the session today. Over to you now.
Thank you so much, Shiva, for organizing this workshop. I'm going to share the screen with you all, and I just hope you can all see it properly. Without much ado, I would like to start the workshop and make sure that it's as interactive as possible. Do put in your questions in the comment section. Thanks to Ethika Insurance Broking and the team who put together this wonderful platform where I could address you guys on a topic that's very important and also very close to my heart, the importance of gut health. All right. I'd love for this to be interactive. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. Please put in your answers in the chat box. You know, the fastest finger gets the attention and the spotlight. Okay. All right. So obviously, we're going to talk about how to reset your gut, improve your well-being, and improve your productivity. This is a topic that's becoming a very common and a very popular topic now, be it on social media or on health magazines or even in medical institutes. You know, no matter which kind of a doctor you go to, be it a neurologist, a skin doctor, you go to a pulmonologist, you go to a gastrointestinal expert, you know, intestinologist, colon expert, you go to a cancer specialist. No matter which doctor you go to, they'll tell you you need to improve your lifestyle. You need to improve your digestion, the way you eat, the way you drink, digest, absorb, and assimilate nutrients. Because remember, the gut is where nutrients are created and nutrients are absorbed, which is the support system for all the organs in your body. Be it your eyes, nose, liver, heart, kidney, intestine, gallbladder, brain, all of these depend on the gut to provide it fuel. The fuel to be alive, the fuel to operate, the fuel to conduct the daily activities and course that we have, right? So we're going to understand how we can fix the gut so it can be optimized. The performance can be improved. The productivity can be improved of the gut. And thus, your productivity, your performance is enhanced at a physical level, mental level, emotional level, personal relationships, professional life, spiritual life, and energetic life. All right, we're going to address all of these causes. Now, like Shiva introduced, I'm not going to spend too much time on my introduction. He's done a fantastic job on that. We've treated 2,500 patients. Now the number has actually gone up to 53 countries. That was the last math we did. We have about 650 plus medicines in our clinic, 1,700 colon formulations made from 3,000 herbs, all of which are sourced from Kerala. We don't make the medicines. The medicines are made by Virudhara, who's our medical partner. Virudhara is the Ashtavadyas. Ashtavadya mean the 8 original Ayurvedic families who learned Ayurvedic science directly from Parshuraman 5,000 years ago and continued providing this Ayurvedic wisdom to their villages, to schools and colleges in various forms, thus preserving the health of the people whose lives they touched. So Vedaratham has preserved the wisdom for the last 5,000 years, and in the last 100 years, they've set up factories, hospitals, colleges, charitable organization, touching the lives of millions of people around the world. During the lockdown, we also started teaching Ayurveda because we realized we wanted to put the power back in the hands of the people rather than waiting for you guys to come to us for a consultation. What if I taught you how to be healthy, how to prevent diseases rather than waiting to get sick? We have a very popular line that says prevention is better than cure. We've all learned this in school. Now you're also working for an insurance broking company. You know, life insurance, medical insurance, and stuff like that, right? Now people invest a lot of money in insurance, but psychosomatically you're tuned to get sick because you need to use that money. And you're basically paying for a hospital bed 20 years from now. What if you also invested a percentage of that money? Doesn't even have to be, say, invested 100 rupees in insurance. Even if you invested 10% of that, 10 rupees on preventive wellness, you'll be able to prevent diseases in the first place. And this is great for the insurance companies also because you're insuring the future, but at the same time, you're making sure that they're healthy today, tomorrow, and day after, and not just tapping into that insurance money for sicknesses and diseases, right? Because a diseased person contributes to a diseased pool of people in the nation. A diseased nation cannot progress, right? We've got a couple of awards like honorary doctorate, India's most trusted healthcare award, Times Brand Icon, She the People Digital TV Award, and 40 Under 40 by Indian Achievers Club. Like he said, 2 TV shows. If you guys can go on Tata Sky, get to the shows. On Amazon, there is a podcast that's going live. It's called Superfoods. It's a 12-episode series. You can listen to it for free. Definitely go watch it. And even if you just Google Dimple Jangda on Google, you'll get almost like 50 plus articles published in various publications. Okay. So we've done workshops around the world and we noticed something. We had students from 58 countries who participated in this workshop. There is something common between people of all of these countries. Japan, China, Korea, Australia, Brazil, France, Algeria, London, Poland, Bangladesh. We even have students in the Red Indian community, which is the Native Americans. We have students in the Indian Army, Amazonian tribe. There is something common between people of all ages, all nationalities, ethnicity, no matter which nation you're born in, which ethnicity, which cuisine you follow, which race and creed you belong to, caste and community you belong to. The one thing that is common between all of us is our pursuit of health and happiness. Everybody around the world wants to be healthy and happy. You'll never come across a single individual who says, I don't want to be happy. I don't want to be healthy. Even the most hardened criminals in the worst prisons in the world will not say this. Correct? Now, we've done workshops for all of these brands, and these are some of our Ayurveda lead clients like Juhi Chawla, Anjali Tendulkar, Dev Patel, Sushant Singh Rajput, and whole lot of police officers, politicians, business entrepreneurs like Keki Mistry, HDFC CEO, Asghar Shakur Patel, actors, actresses. They've all done this Ayurvedic cleanse or Ayurvedic consultation or an Ayurvedic course or a workshop with us, learning how to take care of their own body rather than having to depend on a doctor to cure diseases when it's gone out of control. Okay, now, what is a gut? Put in your answers in the chat box. I want to see how many of you understand or how many of you are already aware, because then I'll know where to start off from. What is a gut? Do you think it's a stomach or intestines? Intestines, Anil, Naveen, Divya. Well done. Sudhakar, Niranjan, Rukmini, Rakesh Nair, Pavan Kumar, both, Mohammed. Well done. Well done, guys. Nice to read all answers. Well done. Keep it coming. The more interactive you are, the more attention you'll be able to pay. Because when we just keep listening in a specific position, our brain tends to drift. In a day, we have 60,000 thoughts in our mind, which are uncontrolled and uncalled for. But if you engage in activities every now and then, it helps break the monotony of sitting still and it helps in focusing. Okay, great. Well done. Now, let me tell you what is the gut. Now, the gut is basically where food passes after digestion. The digestion begins in the mouth, ends in the stomach. The gut is directly below the stomach, made of, if you see at the right picture, the small intestine, large intestine, and the colon. Some scientists say the gut includes everything, right from the mouth to the colon. It includes all three steps: digestion in the mouth and stomach, absorption and assimilation of nutrients in the intestines, and elimination of waste in the colon. So some scientists say it begins in the mouth and ends in the colon. Some scientists say the gut is right below the stomach, where the absorption of nutrients happens and elimination of waste happens. Okay. Now, you all know that the gut is directly connected to various parts of our body. Okay. For example, the gut is directly connected to your brain through a neurosis that sends messages every micro-million seconds. Imagine, every micro-million second, even before I click my finger, the gut has communicated or sent at least 3 to 4 messages to the brain, telling the brain what kind of digestive juices it wants. The brain then calculates and tells the gut, okay, this is a food you're consuming, be it a pizza or a burger or a pav bhaji or salad or an ice cream. The brain communicates to the gut and says, this is the kind of food that you're trying to digest and absorb and assimilate. This is the amount of digestive juice you need. This is the amount of bile you need from the gallbladder. The gallbladder controls the bile and decides how much bile to squeeze into the small intestine. This is the amount of saliva you need. This is the amount of time it's going to spend in the small intestine, large intestine, and colon, and such. So the brain and the gut has a direct two-way communication going on. There is a direct telephone line between the gut and the brain. It's a hotline, hot number, right? That's what we call it. It's a hotline. Whereas different parts of your body are also connected to your brain, but they may send messages every few seconds. The brain prioritizes the gut. The brain prioritizes the gut. And if the gut is not healthy, if the gut is not happy, the gut supersedes the brain and doesn't let the brain function. So imagine if you have bloating, gases, flatulence, indigestion, hyperacidity, acid reflux, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, stomach ulcers, or any gut health issue. Can you focus on the workshop or in a meeting? You'll notice that it's very difficult for you to focus on anything because your gut is continuously sending messages to the brain about what it is experiencing, right? You're real-time experiencing what is happening in the gut. So the brain is real-time deciphering, decoding that information it is receiving from the stomach, and the gut is constantly communicating with the brain, preventing the brain to function or focus on other activities, which is why your ability to focus on things, concentrate on things, your ability to coordinate and, be successful and productive in work gets affected when your gut is unhealthy. It leads to, an unhealthy gut leads to lack of coordination, lack of concentration, mood swings, irritability, anxiety, stress, and symptoms of depression. It also triggers neurological disorders like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, insomnia, amnesia, and such. So the gut is responsible for all kinds of disorders in the brain. Clear? So far, so good? Right? Now, number one, the gut is connected to the brain. You guys can write it down. Keep writing it. Gut-brain connection. You've understood this. Number one. Number two, your gut is connected to your skin and hair. How? When the gut is absorbing nutrients from the food, if there is any malabsorption happening, your gut is not able to absorb complete nutrients. Your gut is not able to break down the foods because you're eating too many complex foods. Pasta one day, burger another day, pizza another day, too many complex foods. The gut is constantly wondering, how do I digest this? How do I digest this? How do I digest this? Each food goes through a chemical process, a metabolic process, before the food is converted into digestive juices, and the digestive juices are converted into plasma, plasma into blood, blood into muscles, muscles into adipose, which is a good fats, adipose into bone, bone into bone marrow into sperm and egg, and the byproducts are your central nervous system, skin, teeth, nails, and hair. There's a complex process that's happening. If you eat a banana right now, within few hours, the banana has become part of the human body, correct? Can you separate the banana from the human body? It's not possible. The banana has become part of the human body. Similarly, the gut is absorbing nutrients from a variety of foods and transforming those food items into digestive juices and then allowing it to be ready to be transformed into various tissues that is required by the body to repair or build new tissues, teeth, nails, hair, and bones, right? So on a daily basis, you're building new tissues in your body, and your body is also letting go of a lot of old cells. Now, if the gut is unhealthy, if the gut is leaking nutrients, if it is got what is called a leaky gut syndrome. A leaky gut syndrome is where the nutrients from the gut starts leaking into the bloodstream, and from the bloodstream, the toxic blood is now circulating to the heart, liver, kidney, intestine, gallbladder, causing havoc in all of those organs. Meanwhile, the gut says, I don't have enough nutrients for the whole body. I'm going to save the nutrients for the heart, liver, kidney, intestine, and brain, the essential organs required to stay alive. The gut says, I don't have any nutrition left for skin and hair. Hence, skin and hair is the last to receive nutrition, but the first to show damages of an unhealthy gut. So if your gut is unhealthy, your skin and hair is the first to suffer and start showing the damages in terms of a dull skin, lifeless skin, and such. Not just that, if the gut is leaking nutrients into the blood, the body doesn't know the difference between good nutrients, good cells, and bad cells. What it does, it goes in an autoimmune response, because this is a leak, right? This is a leak. The body goes into an autoimmune response and starts attacking the good cells, bad cells, good nutrients, and bad nutrients. That's the body's way of protecting itself. The toxins are still floating around in the blood. The blood is now taking it towards the surface of the skin, hoping it to push it out through the pores in the form of sweat. But the toxins are now too big and they're getting accumulated under the skin in the form of toxins, thus causing skin diseases like eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, pimples, acne, urticaria, and such inflammatory conditions. Logical so far? It makes sense why the skin and hair gets affected when the gut gets affected, because the gut is the supplier of nutrients, and if the gut is leaking, the skin and hair is the first to get affected by it. Okay? 1 second. All right, moving on. Sorry, I just want to make sure my next slide is playing. Which one sounds right? Give me your answers. I have a heart feeling, I have a gut feeling, I have a brain feeling. Which one sounds right? Tell me your answers in the chat box. B, almost everybody. Not one person wants to say heart feeling or a brain feeling. Why? Don't feelings come from the heart? We say, I love you from the bottom of my heart, right? And isn't the brain the most superior organ of our body, supposedly? Isn't that where our thoughts come from? Then why not feelings? Because the feelings are indeed coming from the gut. When you feel anxious, scared, excited, happy, you first feel it in the gut and then you feel it in the brain and heart. Your feelings are first experienced in the gut. When you have butterflies fluttering in the stomach, you experience it in the gut. Then in the heart, liver, kidney, intestines. When you're nervous, you feel the runs to the bathroom. That is also a reaction of the gut to your nervousness. So emotions are stored and created in the gut. Intuition comes from the gut. So we have this saying that no matter what your brain and heart says about a business decision or a personal decision, go with your gut feeling, because your gut is never wrong. Your gut has information not only of this lifetime, but probably information from many lifetimes that it taps from the lower part of the brain. The lower part of the brain has memories of 10,000 lifetimes as per Hindu philosophy, and the gut is directly connected to the brain and has access to all of those memories. In fact, a major part of your memories is also stored in the gut and not in the brain or the heart. So emotions are stored and created in the gut. Memories are stored in the gut. The gut is where intuition comes from. The gut is directly connected to your brain. The gut is directly connected to your skin and hair. The gut impacts your physical, mental, and emotional health, neurological health. So far, so good. We've understood the value of the gut. There are so many things connected to the gut. The vagus nerve. Well done, Jillian. That's true. The vagus nerve allows you to feel. It communicates. It transfers information. The gut has another fact. More neurons lining its walls than there are neurons in the brain. Now, what are neurons? Neurons are those that allow us to experience, that allow us to feel, that allow us to emote, that allow us to make decisions. Neurons pass messages from different parts of the body to the brain. The gut has more neurons lining its walls than there are neurons in the brain, which means the gut is the biggest brain of the body. Okay, the gut is called the second brain by many modern scientists, but some scientists have gone one step forward, saying that based on the fact that the gut has more neurons lining its walls than there are neurons in the brain, thus the gut is the biggest brain of the body. So if you really want to be the most intelligent person at work, the most successful person at work, most productive and efficient, you take care of your gut health. Any person with good gut health will be successful in all spheres of their lives. Amazing to see 194 people in class. Wonderful. Now, moving on. Let's look at some more facts and figures here. All right. The gut flora. All right. Now, the gut flora has a direct impact on your mental and emotional health as well. Right. Now, the gut says that there are 1 kilogram of bacteria at any point in time. The gut has 1 kilogram of bacteria at any point in time, and these bacterial cells, these bacterial units have a mind of their own. Each bacteria does what it wants, ideally. But because there is a brain, there is a master, processor that tells the gut on how to function, all the bacteria are told how to function, how to behave. At any point in time, we can have a ratio of 85% good bacteria and 15% bad bacteria. That's an acceptable ratio. But when you eat too much refined foods in your diet, like pizzas and burgers and pastas and excessive non-veg and alcohol and aerated drinks like sodas, too much white sugar, white salt, refined oils, deep fried foods, you are investing in your bad bacteria. The bad bacteria ratio goes up. It creates havoc in the gut, and that affects your mental and emotional health. This is a proven modern scientific fact. The gut bacteria are directly connected to your mental and emotional health. That's why we have a lot of supplements nowadays in our diet, which is not really required if you follow a good gut health practice or rituals. We're having kefir and probiotics and yeast, and yogurt is great, but only for some people, not for all people. We focus on growth dietary, flora growth dietary. Like basically we talk about eating a diet that helps in enhancing the gut bacteria, the gut flora. Okay. The gut versus the brain, like I said, the gut is called the second brain, but some scientists say the gut is the biggest brain of the body. Now, the gut-brain connection, like I said, the gut is directly connected to the brain through a neurosis that sends messages every micromillion second. There's a quick revision. The gut affects neurological and psychosomatic health. Your mood is directly influenced by your gut bacteria. So far, so good. Colon and gut disorders. Let's talk about how to reset our gut back to good health. Now, what are your expectations from the workshop? You can put in the comment section. And anybody here who experiences any symptoms like bloating, gases, flatulence, indigestion, hyperacidity, acid reflux, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, you know this workshop is for you. All right? Why? Because if you have any of these symptoms, you cannot focus on work. When you have a clean bowel movement in the morning, you come out feeling like you can conquer the world. Today's going to be a great day. Your experience in the bathroom is going to define the quality of your day. True or not? True? False? If you have a painful experience in the bathroom, trying to eliminate waste, having a lot of difficulty, you come out feeling stressed and constipated still, and your whole day, you're very irritable, snappy, short-tempered. What happens? We have these funny sayings in English. He's stuck up. She's stuck up. Stuck up means literally constipated. Things are stuck up. They're not coming out. Stuck up. Stick in the mud. She has constipated ideas. This happens when there are toxins in the colon. The toxins in the colon are doing the talking now. The toxins in the colon are now leaking into the bloodstream, and these toxins and poop particles are now being circulated to your brain, heart, liver, kidney, intestine. Why? Because you don't have a separate blood for your toxins, for your colon, and separate blood for your heart and your brain. It's the same blood that's going to the colon that is getting circulated to the brain. Right? Now, I'm going quickly in the chat box, going to give you 2 Instagram handles if you guys would like to follow. I basically publish 1 health tip per day, every single day. Yesterday, I couldn't for some reason. It's called Dr. Dimple Jangda or Prana by Dimple. not even Prana by Dimple Jangda. Okay, I'd love for you guys to follow our Instagram handles and receive this health, education, and wisdom free of cost every single day for the rest of your lives. What happens? Every day, if you learn even one single health tip, 365 health tips per year, eventually your brain will remember at least 100 of those. 250 of those might get pushed at the back of the brain. Your brain at a psychosomatic level will keep reminding you every time you're about to eat something bad. It will pull you. Your gut will start pulling you back saying, no, don't eat this, it's unhealthy. You psychosomatically start behaving in a healthy manner, in a healthy fashion, if you keep consuming healthy content every day. Okay, so I tell people before going to sleep, read something about your health rather than watching Netflix and Amazon. You can do that also, but make sure half an hour before going to bed, 1 hour before going to bed, you switch off the lights. Now, how do we fix the colon and gut disorders? Okay, let's look at the slide. Look at the disorders on the left, right, center. They're all caused due to the same organ. This is a study done by Harvard, Stanford, Atlanta, Georgia, Maryland universities. Many universities have come together and done studies on the root cause of diseases, and they have concluded that 90% of the diseases are caused due to an unhealthy colon, right from depression, chronic fatigue disorder, lack of coordination, lack of concentration, mood swings, irritability, to your allergies, flu, nasal congestion, nasal itching, asthma, hay fever, constipation, diarrhea, gas, IBS, anemia, malnutrition, spastic colon, malabsorption syndrome, rectal itching, diverticulitis, leaky gut syndrome, all the way up to cancer. On the right side, abdominal pain, burp pain, bloating, esophageal reflux, heartburn, vaginal discharge, worsening of PMS, yeast infections, bladder infections, and even gynecological disorders like PCOS and PCOD is now proving to be linked to your digestion and gut health. If your gut is not healthy, it affects your gynecological health also. Cold extremities, athlete's foot, toenail fungus, varicose veins, arthritis, muscle aches, skin diseases like psoriasis and eczema are also triggered due to an unhealthy gut and a leaky colon. A leaky gut syndrome and an unhealthy colon are the root causes of these diseases. A leaky gut syndrome, again, a very common syndrome that most of us in the city seem to suffer. It begins with issues like constipation, diarrhea, IBS, bloating, gases, goes on to become fatigue issues, joint-related issues like rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, headaches, sinus and mouth issues like frequent colds and food sensitivities, brain issues like anxiety, depression, ADHD, skin issues, and even thyroid. You can take a screenshot if you like. I'm happy to share some slides with Shiva that he can share with you guys. Lovely to say everybody's staying put in the workshop. The curiosity is going up, right? Everybody's curious on how to reset their gut back to good health. Let's reset your gut. I'm going to share with you a simple 5-step process to reset your gut back to good health. If you practice this every single day, not only will you eliminate all the toxins from your body, you'll reverse the aging process of your body, you'll reset your gut back to good health, and you'll have improved digestion, improved metabolism, improved moods, improved productivity, and improved sense of happiness at a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic levels. Who's ready for resetting their gut? Let's see the enthusiasm in the chat box. How many of you want to reset your gut back to good health? And how many of you are going to follow to the T what I share with you today? Okay, I hope you followed the 2 Instagram handles. I'd love to interact with you guys and continue my interaction and the process of sharing my education with you. Definitely follow the 2 Instagram handles so that we can stay in touch.
Hi, Dimple. Sorry to sort of stop you there. There's some background noise. From your side.
Are you able to hear me completely, or is there a continuous
Yes, we can hear you, but there's some background noise that is parallelly running.
Okay, I'll just have it addressed. Give me just 1 second.
No problem.
All right. You guys can hear me clearly, loud and
absolutely.
sound?
Loud
all
and
right,
clear.
super. Let's reset your gut back to good health. We've had like a 1-minute interruption, so I hope you all got some water, some little rest. Now let's talk about the gut health. Just 1 second. All right. Now let's look at the next slide. How do we reset our gut back to good health? This is step 1. It's called the circadian rhythm. Okay, circadian rhythm says that we have an internal clock in our body and we must sync this clock with the clock outside our body in Mother Nature. We're a piece of nature. We're made of earth, water, fire, air, and space. When we were born in the purest form of these 5 elements. When we dissolve and disintegrate, we dissolve back into these 5 elements, no matter what our funeral process, whether we're cremated or buried or fed to vultures, doesn't matter what our funeral process is. We go back into the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, space. That's the beauty of our body. We dissolve, right? The only thing that doesn't dissolve is our ego and our attitude and our identities. We need to learn how to dissolve at a physical, mental, emotional level if you want to achieve spiritual growth. Now, the circadian rhythm in your body talks about how every part of your body has a specific timing. For example, your colon is active between 5 to 7 a.m. Did you know this, that your colon is active between 5 to 7 a.m.? We're going to start with the 2 a.m. clock. Look on the left side of your clock. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is called the Vata clock in Ayurveda, where air and space is more dominant. Now, Vata is responsible for the movement of thoughts in our mind and our faculties. Vata is responsible for joint health and colon health as well. Because Vata is dominant between 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., which is a movement in our body, the peristalsis, which is the downward movement of wind, is dominant. Because there is a downward movement of wind in our body, the toxins are moving downwards, getting accumulated in the colon and getting ready for elimination. Make sense? The toxins are getting ready for elimination, which is why back in the day, and even today we say, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is the best time to wake up. Wake up 45 minutes before sunrise to take advantage of this peristalsis, this downward movement of wind, to eliminate waste from your colon. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is also called the Brahma Muhurat, the time of the gods, the hour of creation. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is when we must wake up because we have light sleep. We don't need to be sleeping at this hour. This is the time when elimination begins. This is the time to sit down, meditate, visualize, and create the life you want. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is a time to sit down, meditate, visualize, and create the life you want. If you are manifesting something in your life and you're constantly complaining about, I'm manifesting, but the universe is not answering, it's not coming true, how is it coming true for that person and this person, why not for me? If you want an answer and a solution to that problem, just wake up between 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Anything that you manifest in this hour will come true, because 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., there is no traffic in the universe. There's no traffic in the world. There's no noise and pollution like how you have right now. You know, you can hear all my background noise and all the honking and the ambulances running in the background. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., there's not much traffic in the universe. There are not too many people awake at that hour. This is a great time for you to wake up and tell the universe that this is what I want, and the universe is willing to listen to you, because at this hour, our body is physically connected to the universe much more strongly than any other part of the day. This is a time when you sit and meditate and visualize the life you want and create the life you want by writing down your manifestations so that the universe can deliver. You need to be sure about what you want. It's like walking into a restaurant and telling the waiter, serve what you want. The waiter is like very confused, you know, serve what makes me happy. No, the waiter is like, you need to decide what you want to eat. This is a menu. So the universe also has the same strategy. Please decide what you want. Be clear about it, because once granted, we cannot take it back. This is the power of manifestation. Once granted, it cannot be taken back. Number one. Number two, there's a price to pay for it. Please manifest consciously. Don't manifest, oh, I want my neighbor to suffer. It's never going to come true, because you're manifesting suffering for someone else. It's never going to come true. You can only manifest things for yourself, your physical body, your mental and emotional body. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is called the Kapha clock in Ayurveda. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is when earth and water, Kapha is made of earth and water gets more dominant in our body. This is a time to nourish our body as per Ayurveda and as per any science for that matter. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is when we must wake up, get up out of the bed, definitely, and exercise, do some mild stretching and workouts. Do some mild stretching, eat lightly. Eat some light foods. It is not correct to have a big breakfast. Okay, 1 second. Disha, just take this call. Okay, so eat a small breakfast, eat a big lunch and a small dinner. Tell him I'm in a workshop. Okay, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is when we must eat a small breakfast, eating breakfast like a king. English breakfast is a big, big, big mistake. The colonials have left us, but they've left behind a lot of diseases and a lot of misconceptions about lifestyles and healthy living. You'd rather go back to Ayurveda, which is an ancient science, which is 100% accurate. So what happens in the morning? You eat a small breakfast because your body is still waking up after a 12-hour fasting. Your body's ability to absorb nutrients is still very slow. The sun rises. It's at the peak in the afternoon and sets in the evening. Your metabolic fire corresponds to the position of the sun. It rises with the sun, sets with the sun. So when the sun is rising, your metabolic fire is only this much. Eat a small breakfast. In the afternoon, the sun is at the peak. The metabolic fire is at the peak. Eat a big lunch. When the sun starts to set, the metabolic fire is low. Eat a small dinner. Clear? Your food portion should directly correspond to the position of the sun. How much food you eat should directly correspond to the position of the sun. The size of your meal should correspond to that. Exercise, eat lightly. Your elimination is completed before 8 o'clock. Those who experience chronic constipation, the first solution to you is wake up 45 minutes before sunrise. Those who wake up late will experience chronic constipation in their lives. You'll notice that your bowels and your colons are not responding. You'll end up going to the bathroom and putting a lot of pressure, causing fissures and piles and bleeding through your colon and your anus, which is unhealthy, painful. You prepare for the day and gather energy 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So far, so good? Clear? Any questions? You can keep making notes. What if we do IF? Can we skip eating at 6? Yes, you don't eat at 6 o'clock. Intermittent fasting is usually 12, 14, 16 hours. Is coming, right? So you do your intermittent fasting and break it after sunrise at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Some people break the IF at 11 also. But remember the thumb rule with intermittent fasting, you must stop eating food at sunset. A lot of people end up eating late night dinner and then they do an intermittent fasting the whole of the night and the next day, breaking the intermittent fasting at 3 or 4 in the evening, which is very wrong and unhealthy, because in the afternoon, when your metabolic fire is at the peak, your digestion is at the peak, your ability to absorb nutrients is at the peak, you're not eating, that metabolic fire ends up burning your system from inside, causing hyperacidity, acid reflux, burning sensation, short temper, migraines, and headaches. Intermittent fasting always begins at sunset. Stop eating foods after sunset. Wait until the next morning. Wait after sunrise. Some people wait 48 minutes. Some people wait 150 minutes, 100 minutes, 150 minutes. Depends. Okay. You break your fast after 1 to 2 hours of sunrise. Now 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Look at the clock. Fire is dominant. What is fire doing? That's called Pitta Prakriti in Ayurveda, Pitta Dosh. Fire is dominant between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. What it does is it takes your metabolic fire also to the peak. This is a time to plan, organize, and take action. You can answer 100 emails and 50 phone calls. You have the highest productivity levels are experienced between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is the time to have the heaviest meal of the day. Eat what you want. Eat a pizza, burger, whatever you want to eat it for lunch, not for breakfast or dinner. My trick to a cheat meal is, if you want to cheat on your diet, always eat it for lunch, never for breakfast or dinner. Eat a cheat meal once a week. Don't overdo it. Your body is not, astronomical mystery. Input equals output. If you eat trash, the output is going to be trash in terms of your work quality, your productivity, your personal life, and everything. Okay, so 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the time for you to have the heaviest meal of the day. Make sure to eat equal amount of carbs, proteins, and vegetables. But the problem in India is we eat too much carbs, very little protein. That's also bad. But nowadays, bodybuilders are going the other extreme. They're eating too much protein, very little carbs. That is also unhealthy because the liver cannot process and digest so many complex proteins. It ends up exploding within a few years. A lot of bodybuilders are now dropping dead because of all the steroids and the whey protein and whatnot, to cardiac arrest and a lot of health issues at the age of 40, 42, 50. We don't want that. Okay? So don't go extremes. Learn to live life in perfect harmony and balance. Your highest metabolism is between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Make sure to eat whatever you like. And then 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., the weather starts cooling down. What do you do at this hour? 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Your body has a lot of movement because of the presence of Vata. Now look at the clocks. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. mimic each other. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is a time for long-term strategies, meditation, visualization. 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., the afternoon time, mimics the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., but in a lesser degree. This is a time for you to communicate with your peers, your colleagues, socialize, problem solving, short-term strategies happens between 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. 6 p.m. is also the last meal of the day. Make sure to consume your last heavy meal before 6 p.m. Your meal should be the small meal. Your breakfast and dinner should be small. Your lunch should be the biggest meal of the day. After 6 p.m., avoid eating solid foods. I know all of you are working just like I am, but my trick is carrying a big lunch bag in which I carry my lunch, my evening fruits, and my evening dinner also sometimes. I eat a good, happy meal in the office. Nobody's going to stop you from enjoying your meal, and you'll be able to focus on your work better. When you go home, you simply clean up, shower if you have to, have a glass of milk, socialize with your friends and family, and go to sleep. This is how simple it is. All right. What is the next step? 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. is a time to assimilate and slow down. This is a time for us to slow down our body, assimilate all the nutrients, and prepare for sleep. This is the time to go within and analyze what kind of a day you had. No matter how long or hard your day was, try to switch off your electronics at 9 in the evening. 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. is a time for you to read a book instead of looking at a screen, because a screen mimics the sun. Screen, a laptop screen or a mobile screen, mimics the light of the sun. Your brain gets confused. It thinks it's daylight, and then it starts becoming overactive and hyperactive. Have you noticed the night you spend a lot of time going through social media, Instagram and Facebook, you have very disturbed, restless dreams, right? Have you noticed anybody has ever had that issue, restless dreams? Instead, if you switched off your social media and your television at 9 o'clock and instead read a book, or just relaxed, or did some stretching, some little bit of yoga, not excessively. You do not exercise in the evening. Exercises are best done in the mornings. If you exercise in the evening, it creates too much energy in your body, and then you can't sleep, and then it affects the next day, and it has a domino effect. Okay, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. is a great time for you to go within, analyze what happened throughout the day, what lessons have you learned, and 10 p.m. make sure to switch off the lights no matter what. Even if you're not feeling sleepy, switch off the lights and close your eyes and start preparing for sleep. Your body will eventually shut down. You could be a late night person, staying up till 2, 3 in the morning, watching Netflix, Amazon. We've been spoiled for choice. It's time to bring discipline back into our life and health back into our life. So 10 p.m. to 2 p.m., make sure you're fast asleep in a room that's comfortable and cozy. The temperature is good. This is a time when the liver detoxifies its organs. The liver is active between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. when it's able to detoxify all the toxins. This is a time for deep sleep, deep assimilation and transformation. You dream in color. There is a subconscious action that's happening between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. This is a time for deep REM sleep, where the body repairs all damaged tissues, muscles, and nerves. If you simply follow the circadian rhythm, you allow the colon and the liver to function at that time. Now, every organ has a specific function. See how beautifully it's aligned to the circadian rhythm. The colon is active between 5 to 7 a.m. Then from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., the stomach is active. The intestines are active. From 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., the body starts slowing down. 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., the liver is active. In the day, the gut is active, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. What is active? Your stomach, your intestines, your gallbladder, your liver, your digestion, your metabolism, your immunity is being built at that point in time. Everything happens between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Even birds, cows, goats, and sheep do not eat food after sunset. They follow the rules of the sun. Rise with the sun, set with the sun. Easy to remember, circadian rhythm. Rise with the sun, set with the sun. It's such a simple trick. Okay, it's already 4:17. I have 4 more slides to go on step 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to take up as many questions as possible. So far, so good with circadian rhythm. You guys want to take a picture of the slide? You can. Can light breakfast provide enough energy for morning heavy workout schedule? Yes, Jugal. Yes. You can have a small breakfast. In fact, this is what I suggest. Okay, a quick remedy. When you wake up in the morning, After doing your morning rituals like oil pulling, gargling, steaming, brushing, and scraping, these are Ayurvedic rituals that we teach in our Ayurvedic clinic and our masterclass courses. If you want to study Ayurveda, we have a 3-day gut reset masterclass, which is covered here anyways today. We have a 10-hour masterclass on Ayurveda level 1, 10-hour masterclass on Ayurveda level 2, gynecology, skincare, hair care, herbalism, sports nutrition, yoga mudra, skincare, prenatal care, pregnancy care. We have different courses. You can study those to advance your knowledge. You can always get in touch with us on our website, www.pranabydimple.com. Okay. Now, in the morning when you wake up, the first thing that should go into your mouth should be a little bit of fat. How do we take fat? 1 glass of warm water, 200 ml of warm water with half teaspoon of ghee in it, early morning empty stomach, is a great way of lubricating your GI tract right from your mouth to your intestines to your colon. This pulls heavy metals out of your body, lubricates your GI tract, and prepares your body for digestion and metabolism. After having warm water ghee, you can have some herbal teas made from cumin, fennel, that is jeera, saunf, coriander, which is akadania, elaichi, cardamom, or ajwain, carom seed. You can mix them all together, boil it, and drink it as a tea. This helps in aiding digestion. You can also have cinnamon, clove, grated ginger, pepper, star anise. These spices are easily available at home. If you just make a concoction out of these spices and drink it early morning empty stomach after having warm water ghee, it aids your digestion. After this, I recommend having a bowl of fruits and dry fruits and then go for your workout. Instead of working out empty stomach, it's better to eat a little something because you don't want the metabolic fire in your stomach to become so active that it starts destroying your stomach and your intestines. Instead, if you had nutrients in your stomach, your body will be absorbing it slowly, but don't eat a heavy breakfast before a workout. Finish your workout and then come back and eat a small, medium, or heavy breakfast. If you're doing a heavy workout, then go ahead and have a heavy breakfast. The thumb rule is, which I'm coming to in slide 2, eat 80% of your appetite. No matter who you are, everybody seems to quantify the calories, saying how many calories am I consuming, how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of veggies. Cows, goats, and sheep don't weigh their food before eating. We don't have to do that. We have human intelligence and intuitive, innate intelligence that tells us what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. Instead of weighing your food, follow this simple trick. Number 1, eat only when you're hungry. When you're hungry, your body sends a message to the brain that the digestive juices are active, there's an active metabolic fire, give me some food. If you eat when you're not hungry, that means there are no digestive juices and metabolic fire. You end up creating a room of undigested food in your gut that is just rotting and thus creating toxins. Rule number 2, eat 80% of your appetite. What does that mean? Your stomach is the size of your fist, actually. Even if you eat more than your stomach's appetite, stretch your hand. This is how much you're allowed to eat. If you eat more than this, you're going to end up with gluttony, with weight gain, and a whole lot of other disorders. Eat 80% of your appetite. Leave space, 20% of the space, for the air and space to revolve and rotate the food for digestion. Like a blender, if you fill it up to the top, you'll not be able to use the blender. Your stomach, if it's filled up to the top, it will not be able to digest the food. It needs space for the food to be moved round and round and round to aid digestion. If you eat a full stomach, the stomach acids get pushed upwards, thus causing hyperacidity, acid reflux, and burning sensation. Chew your food 32 times. Your grandmothers have said this thousands of times. You didn't pay attention to it before, but now you can. Chew your food till it turns liquid into your mouth and then swallow it, which is the next rule. Drink your solids, eat your liquids. What does that mean? Drink your solids means chew your food till it turns into liquid in your mouth and then swallow it, because that's the amount of digestive juices and saliva you've created in the mouth, which is going to aid the digestion process in the stomach. Eat your liquids. Sit down, hold a glass of water and sip it slowly. Don't drink water in a rush standing up, because when you drink water standing up, the water quickly flows from the stomach to the intestines, not getting digested and absorbed. Instead, when you sit down, the stomach and the intestines get a support, and the water goes slowly from the mouth to the stomach to the intestines and then to the colon or to the kidneys, waiting to be flushed out. Another rule when eating: do not drink water while you're eating food, because if you do that, then the digestive juices are getting washed away. Instead, eat your food peacefully. Drink water half an hour before, after a meal, and half an hour before a meal. When you drink water before a meal, you're cleaning the palate, you're cleaning the stomach and preparing it for the next meal. When you drink water half an hour after the meal, you're aiding the digestion process. If you put too much water into clay, it'll become murky, right? But instead, if you put a little water, which is already there in your cooking processes, that's enough. Let the food get digested, and if it turns hard, then you can add some more water later. Don't watch TV or use mobile phones when eating, because the emotions in your stomach are directly dictated by what you're consuming outside, externally, through your eyes, nose, ears, and mouth. And the emotions you consume is going to dictate what the food turns into. If you're watching violence on TV, that food also becomes violent inside your stomach, leading to hyperacidity, acid reflux, burning sensation. If you're angry, please do not eat food. This is a thumb rule in Ayurveda. Never eat food when you're angry. Sit down, drink a glass of water, calm down, relax, and then drink water. Never eat food if you're, restless or anxious or stressed, because your food is going to get undigested, leading to bloating, gases, and flatulence. Sit down, relax, take a few deep breaths 7 times, focus on it, and then go ahead to eat your food. Use your hands to eat your food, because each of these fingertips are actually connected to an element. For example, this is fire, this is air, this is space, this is earth, this is water. This is Advanced Yoga Mudra, a wonderful course that Karan Habar teaches on our academy. You can definitely consider studying any of these courses. I'll just share the website. You can visit it anytime you want, okay, for consultations or academy courses. Now, use your hands to eat the food, because when you use your hands, it sends information to the brain on the texture of the food, whether it's hard or soft or dry or well lubricated, moisturized, greasy, and so and so. And that information goes to the brain. The brain then gives information to the liver, the gallbladder, and the stomach on what kind of digestive juices and bile to produce, what kind of acids, stomach acids to produce to aid the digestion process. Look at your food. You can prevent food poisoning. Look at your food. Pay attention to what you're eating. Smell the food. Sense messages to the brain. The olfactory senses tells the brain what kind of food it is. Taste it, relish it, roll it around in your mouth. Listen to the sounds of the food. Use your 5 senses that God has given to navigate through life, to prevent diseases, to prevent any kind of food poisoning issues. Pay attention. The food is literally communicating with you. If there is dahi in front of you and there is fruit, that food is literally telling you, I'm a bad combination, don't eat us together. If you eat fruit with yogurt, it causes food poisoning, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide. How do you identify hunger signs after years of eating badly, Yogesh? It'll take a few days to rectify the body. Unfortunately, our body is not like a machine where we can switch it on and switch it off whenever we want. No. Remember, if you took 10 years to spoil your habits, you must give it half the time to reverse the habits. It takes 21 days to form a habit. It takes half the time to recover from a disease. So if you've had the disease for 10 years, the recovery period is half the time, 5 years. Okay? Usually we get cravings to eat sweets after lunch and dinner. Is it a bad sign? No, it's not a bad sign. You can satisfy it. Sometimes when we eat very spicy foods, having sweets helps in reducing that burning sensation and satiating those acids. Okay. Now, moving on to the next slide, I'm happy to take the questions at 4:30, 4:35. I just want to make sure I finish it. Food pyramid, very simple slide. It says 50% of your diet should be fruits and vegetables. It's high source of prana. What is prana? Prana means source of life. Prana means active source of life. 50% of your diet should be fruits and vegetables, because that means you have better source of prana, source of life. 30% should be grains, legumes, lentils, nuts, and seeds. Remember, they have a shelf life. They can survive for up to 1 year. So their prana is a little less compared to fruits and vegetables. 20% of your diet can be spices, herbs, condiments, salts, oils, and ghee. There's no room for non-veg in the food pyramid. I'll tell you why in the next slide. You guys can take a picture if you want. So far, so good. Food pyramid, you understood? It makes sense to have 50% of your diet as fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables also enhance your gut bacteria, because it's loaded with active microbial enzymes that we can use to invest in our gut, and our gut can use for repairing physical, mental, and emotional health. Logical? Yes. Fruits and vegetables are a source of life. well-cooked vegetables, steamed salads, stewed fruits, raw fruits. This is a way to eat. In Ayurveda, we do not consume anything raw because raw foods are home for parasites also, just like how they're home for us. And they end up entering our gut, creating ringworm infection under our skin, vitiligo and such diseases, alopecia, and they can also create other gut-related disorders because of the presence of the parasites. Parasites, chemicals, insecticides, pesticides, and such. So always remember to wash your vegetables, steam it or stew it or cook it before eating it. Never eat it raw. Okay. Now, why no room for non-veg? This slide answers that question. I just want to make sure I finish on time so I can take as many questions as possible. Fruits. Remember this magic number 111. Vegetables 222. Grains, pulses, milk, nuts 666. Non-veg 24, 24, 24. What's this magic number? Any guesses? Put in the chat box. Tell us what do you think it is. Now, it means no raw vegetable juices, Mitali. That's true. Time to digest, Rakesh. Well done. Well done. Hours. Well done. Fruits take 1 hour in the stomach. 1 hour in the small intestine. Well done, Meghraj, Rohit. Nice to see the answers. Fruits require 1 hour in the stomach, 1 hour in the small intestine, 1 hour in the large intestine to get fully digested, absorbed, and assimilated. Then it goes to the colon ready for elimination. They need 3 hours in the system. Because it takes only 1 hour in the stomach, when you eat a food salad, you get hungry within an hour. Within an hour, you're ready for the next meal because the food or the fruits has already moved from the stomach to the intestines. Have you noticed if you have just a fruit salad, you get hungry within an hour or two max. Vegetables require 2 hours for digestion in the stomach, 2 hours for absorption and assimilation in the small intestine, 2 hours in the large intestine for the moisture to be absorbed, and then they go to the colon ready for elimination. Grains, pulses, milk, and nuts require 6 in the stomach, 6 hours in the small intestine, 6 hours in the large intestine, which is why when you eat a vegetable salad without any grains or paneer in it, you get hungry within 2 hours. But when you have any grains or pulses, you get hungry within 6 hours max. But because we mix vegetables, grains, and pulses together, the fiber from the vegetables makes it easier for us to digest grains. So about 3 to 4 hours, we start getting hungry. Monks and sages literally take 1 meal a day. Okay, monks and sages only take 1 meal a day because they allow their body 18 hours to fully digest, absorb, and assimilate those nutrients, eliminate the toxins out of the body before they consume the next meal. How nice. You won't cook new food over stale food on your gas stove, right? What would you do? You remove the old food and then you cook the new food. So monks and sages have 1 meal a day because they wait for the toxins to be fully released from the body before they have another meal the next day. That's the healthiest way of living. Unfortunately, thanks to gluttony and whatnot, we eat many meals a day. Try to minimize your meals to 3 meals. If you can, minimize it to 2 meals eventually. Nothing like it. You don't need to eat every hour to satiate your hunger craving. Non-veg requires 24 hours in the stomach, 24 hours in the small intestine, 24 hours in the large intestine, requiring 72 hours in total in our body, making it difficult and impossible for us to eliminate it easily from the body. Not only that, when we consume animal meat, we're also consuming diseases. Reason being, animals get cancer, human beings get cancer, plants don't get cancer. Plants don't get cancer. What does that mean? Plants are not mobile, so the kind of cancer they get is only in one small part of the plant. The rest of the plant is still edible because the cells are held tightly together, firmly in place, and they don't move. The cancer doesn't spread in the body. They don't have cancer the way human beings and animals have. Animals and human beings are mobile. The cancer can spread from one part of the body to another part of the body. In plants, it doesn't. Non-veg also is dead food. Dead food means it has no prana, no source of life. It's dead. It's not alive like a fruit or a vegetable. Your stomach is not a graveyard for the dead. Putting dead food on your plate also means putting diseases in your body. You're consuming the diseases of that animal, and you're also consuming complex memories of that animal stored in the body in the form of sadness, happiness, anxiety, stress. And that animal is releasing cortisol, which is a negative stress hormone due to being held in captivity, torture, and slaughter. At the time of being slaughtered, they release a lot of cortisol, which is almost poison. You end up consuming that cortisol, which leads to or contributes and triggers anxiety, stress, and depression even in your body. The first thumb rule for any patient that comes to me with clinical depression, I say 100% plant-based diet, not even eggs, because eggs are designed by Mother Nature to become a full-fledged chicken. It's a very complex protein, which is not easy for the body to digest, right? What happens? Our body has to digest that complex manual that Mother Nature has put inside that egg to become a chicken. You have to break that manual, go against that manual to be able to digest, absorb, and assimilate the nutrients. I know a lot of people suggest having 6 eggs a day, 4 eggs a day, because it has complete protein and amino acids and whatnot. But please remember, you're also going against the rules of nature. Everything has been designed for survival, just like human beings. Seafoods is still dead food. You're not eating the fish alive. If you're eating the fish alive, it's even worse. Right? It's still dead. And where do all the trash and the sewage and the factory waste in this entire world going? All of that is going into the rivers, into the oceans, which the fishes are consuming, thus creating unhealthy marine life and also causing microplastics from the waste being released into the ocean, entering the fish's body and entering our body. They found microplastics in the body of human beings. Any veg high protein diet, Manish, you can follow my Instagram handle. I've given a whole lot of tips on what are the best protein-based, plant-based foods that you can consume. Foods for fatty liver, also Durga covered it in great detail in my Instagram page. Definitely have it. Best time to eat fruits also, it's covered there. Now let me go on to the next slide and then I'm happy to take up the questions, okay? You can keep putting in your questions after that. Now, step 5 is called Virudhara, which means wrong combinations of food. Do not consume these combinations of foods because they create poison in the body. It's already 4:34, another 5 minutes, and then I'll take up the questions, okay? Do not mix fruits. Please take a screenshot if you must. Please understand this thumb rule. Do not mix fruits with milk, yogurt, vegetables, grains and pulses or meat, because fruits become poisonous when they come into contact with milk. Apple milkshake, banana milkshake, smoothies are all poisonous. They trigger skin diseases because the toxins released due to these bad combinations cause toxins to get accumulated under the skin, causing skin diseases. Do not mix fruits with yogurt. I know a lot of people are having these fruit flavored yogurts. They're also poisonous as per Ayurveda and proven by modern science that in the long run, they can trigger skin diseases. Fruit should not be mixed with vegetables. If you're having a fruit salad, have a fruit salad. If you're having a vegetable salad, have a vegetable salad. Don't mix it. They have different microbial enzymes that react with each other and can release toxic gases. Remember, just like human beings, plants also release gases when you eat them raw or when you eat wrong combinations. They react with each other and that chemical reaction creates tiny atom bomb explosions in your stomach and they release gases and bloating and flatulence, hyperacidity, acid reflux, and toxins which enter the bloodstream and then get deposited under the skin. Do not mix fruits with grains and pulses. Having oats with fruits decorated on it is also unhealthy. Do not mix fruits with meat. It's extremely poisonous. If you're having a 5-course, 7-course meal in a 5-star hotel, great. Finish it off with a dessert, but do not have fruits as a dessert. Fruits is not a dessert. The thumb rule with fruits is eat it alone or leave it alone. Do not mix it. Number 2 is vegetables. Do not mix vegetables with fruits or milk. They turn poisonous. Vegetables can be mixed with grains and pulses. Right? Like your khichdi, you mix it with vegetables. Your biryani, your pulao, they're all very healthy recipes. Number 3, grains and pulses. Pre-soak them for 12 to 24 hours. When you pre-soak them, you're breaking the hard outer layer, which is a shelf life given by Mother Nature. If you consume the foods as is, it can lead to indigestion and bloating because it's not easy for our gut to break down those complex foods. But when you pre-soak grains and pulses, the hard layer gets dissolved and it becomes easier for our body to digest a pre-processed food. The food has been soaked, it has been cooked, it has been given a tadka, it has been baked or stir-fried or whatever. It is easier to digest. Milk and nuts. Do not mix milk and nuts. Now, milk and nuts can be mixed with each other, but milk should not be mixed with fruits, vegetables, or meat. Milk can be mixed with nuts, okay? Milk can be mixed with spices like haldi, cinnamon, ginger, okay, saffron, nuts like almonds, pista, date, walnuts, okay. Fruit milkshakes are absolutely poisonous. Hajira, like I said, curd with nuts is okay, but Maybe not raisins. Okay. Can we eat dried fruits and nuts together? Yes, you can. Non-veg, coming to non-veg. Do not mix with fruits or milk, even they turn poisonous. Non-veg mixed with yogurt, by the way, is poisonous. Non-veg mixed with fruits is poisonous. Non-veg mixed with milk is extremely poisonous. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the slide. I'm happy to take up as many questions as possible. Now, there's another thing that I want to share with you guys. I'm sharing a whole lot of recipes on my Instagram page for bloating, gases, flatulence, indigestion, hyperacidity, acid reflux. You can take cumin, cardamom, carom, fennel. I'm just rushing through so that I can take questions. You can take screenshots if you like, or just follow the Instagram page. All the recipes are available for free. For losing weight, we have recipes made from cinnamon, cardamom, clove, grated ginger, pepper, star anise, lemon. For replacing your cocktails with a mocktail so that you don't end up having to consume alcohol, which dries up your colon. You can have tangerine, cinnamon, cardamom, clove, grated ginger, pepper, apple juice. This is a spice buttermilk that aids digestion. We consume this post meals. Recipe again available on Instagram in great detail. Prana immunity booster. All the spices to be cooked in ghee also helps in boosting your digestion and immunity and metabolism against cold, cough, sinus, allergies, asthma, hay fever, lung congestion. You can have these concoctions at home, especially during the monsoons. Okay, so this is our clinic. We do a series of Panchakarma treatment. We also do consultations on Zoom. No matter which part of the world you live in, we have patients in 53 countries. You can book a consultation on Zoom, doctor's consult, a diet consult, or come meet in person in Bandra. Book a slot in advance, and after that you can do a Panchakarma treatment, which is a 5-step process of removing 99% of toxins from your body. There are a few steps. Number 1 is a full body massage to increase blood circulation and liquefy the toxins and bring it towards the gut. Then we do a series of other treatments like Podikili, Elekili, Potli massage to sweat out the toxins through the pores. Then we do a series of colon cleanse treatment where we introduce medicine through the colon to flush out the toxins. Okay, so these are all the things that we share in our clinic. Shiva, I'm happy to take up as many questions as possible. There are 186 people who stayed put till the very end. That's a sign of commitment towards their own health. Okay,
Great.
Now I'm going to read.
Thank you so much, Dimple, for the wonderful presentation. So anyone who wants to talk to Dimple, you can raise your hands. I can move you to the panel and you can interact with it directly. And those of you who are shy can put your questions right here in the chat box. We'll try and take them one by one. So, Kritika, we have a few raised hands. I'm going to move them to panel. First is Kritika Jain. Kritika, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hello, Dr. Dimple, and hello, everyone. My question is, like, as you said that, like dairy products should not be mixed with fruits and vegetables. So how about the combination of, like we make palak paneer, things like these, and like, because, and also when I see, so many videos on Instagram, there are so many recipes for smoothies and everything. They look very interesting, and obviously, it's something different from a regular.
Yes, Kritika, I got your question. I'll answer that. Just so that we can take as many questions as possible. Sure. Request everyone keep your questions short so that I can give you quick answers. Now, smoothies, milkshakes look delicious. They're great for Instagram. Take a picture, post it, and then throw it away. Don't eat it. They are poisonous, like I said. Just because they look interesting doesn't mean they're healthy. Number 1. Number 2, palak paneer. That's a vegetable. Paneer is processed from milk. It has already been converted into milk and then into paneer. There is a processing process. There's a process that has happened that has changed the chemical component of that milk. So paneer doesn't have the same effect as milk. You can mix paneer with vegetables and grains. Perfectly fine. But we don't eat palak paneer every day. We eat it once in a week or twice a week. When you're making your palak gravy or your paneer butter masala, the tomato gravy, do not put milk in that to make it creamy and rich. That is poisonous. Paneer is not the same as milk. It can be mixed with vegetables. And smoothies and milkshakes, I repeat, are poisonous, no matter how healthy and interesting it looks on social media. Apple milkshake, banana milkshake, they're all poisonous. Okay?
Thank you.
Most welcome. Sorry, I just want to make sure I take as many questions as possible. Yeah.
Sure. Allowing Durga to ask.
Hi, Durga.
Hi. So, can you just suggest any foods for the fatty liver?
See, fatty liver happens when the liver is unable to let go of toxins. Okay. Excess fat is accumulated on the liver. Number one, the rule, if you remember the circadian rhythm, sleep between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. no matter what, so the liver can detoxify itself. Number one. Number two, drink 2 liters of water per day, preferably warm. When you sip warm water, it helps in dissolving fat. Number three, cut out all oils from your diet for some time. Instead, cook your food in ghee or nothing at all. Just have steamed vegetables. Steamed vegetables have a lot of fiber that allows the liver to release its fat, and the fiber takes all the unnecessary fat towards the colon. You can have a lot of bitter foods in your diet that help in detoxifying. Bitter foods help in deworming the body also. Spinach, celery, cilantro, curry leaves, moringa, bitter gourd, green gourd, your snake gourd, fenugreek, methi, ajwain, carom seeds. All bitter foods help in treating the fatty liver. Anything bitter and taste is great for the liver. Yeah, and cut out dairy products for some time. Milk, yogurt, buttermilk, paneer, cheese, except for ghee. Have a glass of warm water with half teaspoon of ghee early morning, empty stomach. You'll be surprised. Ghee is the only fat that helps in releasing fat. It helps in weight loss.
Thank you for that, Dimple. Mitali, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, doctor.
Hi, Mitali.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, is gut cancer really a thing? Because constipation, bloating, flatulence are very regular, common symptoms to all. So is there any serious symptom apart from it which indicates cancer, gut cancer?
So if you remember the slide where I showed you, the gut is made up of the small intestine, large intestine, and colon. And the colon is responsible for 90% of the diseases, right from all kinds of cancer to clinical depression. So it's not called gut cancer, it is cancer by itself. Be it cancer of the colon, be it intestine cancer, be it uterus cancer, ovarian cancer, anus cancer, doesn't matter what kind of a cancer it is. All forms of cancer are triggered from an unhealthy colon, which is part of the gut. So the gut can trigger cancer. Okay?
Thank you.
Most welcome.
Great. So, Purva, if you can hear me, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question? Purva Shah.
Yeah, good evening, doctor. I wanted to ask, is salad also a bad thing to consume? Because those are also what we consume raw and it is uncooked, unsteamed. So, and is it good to consume salads for breakfast?
Yes, it's true. You answered your own question. You were also paying a lot of attention to the class. Thank you for that. It is true that raw foods are not recommended in Ayurveda because raw foods is home for parasites. Okay? Cabbage or cauliflower, broccoli. Can you guys just mute yourself if anybody else is unmuted? Raw foods are also home for parasites. When we eat raw vegetables, the parasites enters our stomach, and if they get leaked into the bloodstream, they will get deposited under the skin. Ringworm infection is a leading cause for diseases like alopecia, vitiligo, and skin diseases. And it can irritate your gut lining. You know, you've heard of people releasing worms when they go to the bathroom. That's because of the parasites that we've eaten from raw salads. They do that. The thumb rule is cook your foods before eating. A steamed salad is better. A cooked vegetable is better. Cooked grains and pulses that have been pre-soaked is better. Nuts and dry fruits also, you pre-soak it for 12 hours at least, or at least overnight, or at least for 2-3 hours in the morning. Don't eat dry fruits and nuts directly. I know it's very tempting to take that indigo flight. You know, you get these almonds, salted almonds, and keep putting in your mouth. Even that is not advisable. Pre-soak it. Fruits is the only thing we eat raw, but 1 pound of fruit is enough per day. Otherwise, it will spike your sugar levels. I love eating fruits. I could live on a diet of fruits and not have any impact on my health. But 1 to 2 pounds of fruit is more than enough. Okay, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
So, Bharat, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Sure. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, there are a couple of questions. What is the right quantity and the right time to take eggs, especially for a person who exercises regularly, and the confusion between just taking the albumin white part or both yolk? And the second question is, given the busy schedule nowadays, people might not be able to consume the correct amount of fiber every day. So is alternatives like psyllium husk a good option to include in daily diet, or these are also habit forming, so should be avoided?
Okay, just to answer your question, the further you move away from nature, the more diseases you'll have in your body. So you have to decide how far from nature are you willing to go. Having replacements and supplements in your diet instead of eating the food directly means you're going away from nature. How far you go from nature is the degree and extent of diseases you will have in your body as you age. You have to be okay with that butter. Okay, instead of eating protein from dal, I'm going to have whey protein. Be okay with the diseases that come with it, because whey protein and all your single husk and this and that comes in packages have a shelf life. They have preservatives in it. If they can survive in a box for 6 months, they can survive in your body also for 6 months. Number one. Number two, I don't recommend eggs at all for anybody, simply because, like I said, it has a complex manual. It is a leading cause of constipation in bodybuilders who come to me. I have bodybuilders who are famous around the world, male and female bodybuilders. All of them have the same issue that they come to: chronic constipation and an unhealthy liver. Consuming too much chicken, eggs, and whey protein has actually triggered colon cancer in this 33-year-old bodybuilder who came to me. And he's 1/3 his size. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the best bodybuilder in the world. And did you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger is vegan, plant-based bodybuilder? He does not consume any of these hyped proteins from eggs and chicken and whey. He has plant-based diet, and he says earlier when he was consuming meat and he was bodybuilding, his cholesterol, triglycerides, LDL, HDL were all out of control. But the minute he went on a plant-based diet, he has the same muscle fat ratio. He looks as big as he did before, but his cholesterol, triglycerides, LDL, HDL, everything reversed to the normal levels. There was no hormonal imbalance. Eggs is a source of estrogen. When you're consuming eggs, you're also consuming estrogen, which is also the leading cause of PCOS, PCOD, infertility in women, and can even cause breast cancer in men also. Okay, so I don't recommend eggs and replacements. Try to go as close to nature as possible if you want to maintain good health.
Pawan, you can ask your question next.
Sure, thank you. Hi, Dimple. This session was really helpful, but I have an interesting question. So you said that ghee, you can have it because it is a fat which helps you lose fat. I'm actually trying to lose weight, so I want to understand what sort of amount you would recommend on a daily basis that one can have, because I honestly love it too much.
That's a problem, right? So yeah. I love how your questions are full of contradictions. Okay, I love your session, but I have an interesting question. Ghee helps me lose fat, but I like it too much. Now, this is what it is. The right balance is a way to good health. Okay, now ghee, fat helps lose fat. Keto diet has unfortunately taken it to the other extreme, where they're consuming only fat throughout the day. And I have treated a lot of patients here in this clinic post keto with a completely damaged liver, where they're not even able to consume rice or even drink water because the liver has become extremely fatty. Too much of good is also bad. If you have too much turmeric, your body will turn yellow. Turmeric is great, right? It's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. People are using it for medication, neurological disorders. But if you eat too much haldi, your body will be on fire and it will turn yellow. Same with saffron. Great, but one string of saffron is more than enough. Too much saffron will make your body turn green. It can be poisonous. Nutmeg, one pinch will put you to sleep, but a whole nutmeg will be poisonous for your body. The same with ghee. Don't abuse it. An endomorph body type that tends to put on weight easily, struggles to lose weight, 1 teaspoon of ghee per day is enough. Don't overdo it. A mesomorph body type that tends to put on weight easily and lose weight easily, medium build, 2 to 3 teaspoons of ghee, including your cooking and the ghee that you take orally on top of your meals. An ectomorph body type, that's the thinnest body type. They tend to have a very dry, rough skin, dry, rough, frizzy hair, dry constitution inside. They must consume a lot of ghee in their diet to prevent bone-related disorders.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
Swati, you can go next. Swati, if you can hear me, you
Yeah,
can unmute
thank you
yourself.
so much. Yeah. So, ma'am, the session was very helpful. And I actually had read a lot about all this because I have autoimmune hypothyroidism. And I've been trying to fix it so many days. So, any recommendation for diet? Because I'm on gluten free, but it doesn't help that much to lose the weight.
So for any diseases, okay, just, for everybody on the panel, be it hypothyroidism or a common cold or a cancer, anything, we cannot give medical advice on a Zoom workshop. Okay, ethically speaking, we can only give advice based on a one-on-one consultation after analyzing your symptoms, your genetic history, family history, the symptoms you've had growing up, what is your prakriti, what is your vikriti. We have to do a complete diagnosis. Okay, but just as an advice I give you, which I give on Instagram, for hypothyroidism, stay away from all white colored foods like dairy products, milk, yogurt, buttermilk, paneer, cheese. Ghee is an exception. Stay away from meat, seafood, eggs, alcohol. Stay away from caffeine, tea, beverages. Stay away from white colored foods like white sugar, white salt, white rice, wheat, maida, pasta. Instead, have foods like millets, grains, and pulses, mung beans, lentils, quinoa. Have a plant-based diet. Stay away from dairy and animal-based products. Your thyroid levels will dramatically
Yeah. Yeah,
All right?
actually that helped me. But then, it started hair fall problem and whitening of the hair.
We'll do a personal consultation, Swati, when you're
Okay,
ready.
that will be great. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Yeah. Abhishek, you can go next. You can ask your question, please. Abhishek Bose.
Yeah. Hi. So, can I have the presentation because of the meeting? Because of a meeting, I missed the first part, and my question is surrounding alcohol and butter consumption. Because of my lifestyle, I do little bit of alcohol consumption in form of cocktail or wine, and I consume little bit of butter daily. So, is that really bad?
So you have to answer that question for me. Alcohol equals poison for the body. How much poison you consume is based on how quickly we will die. Whether you consume one drop of poison or one whole glass of poison, poison is poison. Okay? What alcohol does is it dries up the colon, it dries up your body, it leads to severe dehydration of your organs. It also creates a hallucination in your mind and takes you away from reality. You think you're relaxing, it's actually taking you from reality. The more you keep going away from reality, one day you'll be so far from reality, it'll be difficult for you to come back. It will keep increasing and piling up. It can lead to long-term constipation, kidney-related, liver-related disorders, which we're all aware of. Smoking, drinking, alcohol, all of it, right? Now, coming to butter. So you have to decide how much poison is enough poison for you to handle. Okay? I meet a lot of people who've now completely turned their life around 360 degrees after overcoming some deadly disease, which, changed their life and their breathing patterns and the way they think, the way they eat, the way they drink. They don't even want to get married to a person who's like got an unhealthy lifestyle. They don't want to. They said, it took me so long to become healthy. I don't want to be associated with someone who's unhealthy, who's toxic. Have you heard of the word toxic? Alcohol is called a toxin. Medicines, drugs and steroids and antibiotics are also a form of toxin in small doses given to shut down the body because we're not able to fight the disease. So you have to decide how much poison is enough poison. But if you're going to drink, this is a suggestion I give, please line your stomach walls with good fats and carbs before drinking, like a piece of bread or some kind of carbs to prevent the alcohol from eating up your stomach lining. If you drink on an empty stomach, it's worse. If you drink on a full stomach, it's bad, but not as bad as on an empty stomach. It's still bad, right? It's still unhealthy for your kidney. And we have only 2 kidneys. We don't have replacements. We can't regrow our kidneys. Our liver can grow itself. Our kidneys can't. A liver, you can donate half the liver and it'll still regrow itself. It's like a lizard state. It grows by itself. Our brain cannot grow. If you give away half a brain, we'll be left with half a brain. Now, butter, the best way to have butter is in the form of clarified butter, which is an Indian ghee. It has no salt in it, no refined ingredients in it, no preservatives in it. If you're going to have butter on your bread, I suggest unsalted butter. Okay.
So is this presentation available anywhere? Because I missed the first part.
Mr. Shiva will help you with that.
You will get a link to the recording of the session. You can watch it as many times you want, but I'm not sure about the presentation.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Dr. Dimple, there's one question in the chat box that I wanted to bring it up to you is,
please do.
Mauna Gangula has asked, what about constipation during pregnancy?
What about constipation during pregnancy? See, in pregnancy, we have a very specific chapter in Ayurveda called Garbha Sanskara. Garbha Sanskara means education of the fetus in the womb. There is a new creature, new life coming into a physical form in your womb. How magical is your body? You're bringing an entire human, you're building an entire human being inside your body. Heart, liver, kidney, intestine, brains, everything, right? Your body is going through a separate cycle by itself. Every month, there is a specific diet in Ayurveda. Month 1, month 2, month 3, 4, we tell you whether to have honey, yogurt, milk, ghee, shatavari, a whole lot of sweet herbs, yasti madhu, and all of that. It's a 4-hour masterclass that I have on my academy. If you guys want, please write to Shiva for a discounted link. I can send you a 20% discounted link just for Ethika Insurance Broking and a 10% discounted link on consultation. I will share the links with him. I urge you to study that course because based on the stage of pregnancy you're in, the foods recommended will prevent something like constipation, diarrhea, gas. For now, please take a glass of warm water with ghee early morning, empty stomach. At bedtime, take a glass of milk with 1 teaspoon ghee. Within 2-3 days, your constipation will go away.
Great. Thank you so much for that answer, Dr. Dimple. I think we'll take the one last question for the day today. Is I tried quitting evening meal, but that impacted my sleep. I then tried Googling and found out that an empty stomach, on an empty stomach, it hampers our sleep. So any suggestions around that?
What's the first line? I tried stopping or taking something?
Quitting. I tried quitting evening meal. So
evening meal.
Basically having 2 meals a day.
So, okay, first of all, don't go to Google. Google is not a doctor, okay? Don't do that. I remember having a young girl who came to me saying that she has brain cancer. And I said, who told you? She said, Google told me. She just had a headache from her mother. Okay, then all she needed was counseling and all that her mother needed was some reprimanding and scolding, not to irritate her daughter. That's all, okay? So don't go to Google for solutions, okay? It's written in Ayurveda and in all Shastras, all religious books, that Ratri Bhojan, Rakshas Bhojan, because it is tamasic in nature and feeds a tamasic energy like gluttony, greed, envy, jealousy, and all negative emotions. And it also feeds the diseases in the body, which is called the demon, the Rakshas. Now, the reason why you couldn't fall asleep is because you were not eating well for breakfast and lunch, and you were depending on your evening meal. Your biggest meal should be lunch. If you have a very big meal for lunch, your evening, you crave only this much. And then try to slowly wean off the solids by 6 o'clock. At bedtime, have a glass of milk with a pinch of nutmeg, jaffle, boiled together. You'll fall asleep like a baby elephant. Eventually, when you've improved your sleep, you're falling asleep at 10, waking up at 4, waking up at 5. Circadian rhythm is perfect. And slowly you can stop drinking milk also at bedtime. Okay. But start off with a simple remedy, milk with a pinch of nutmeg. You don't need an evening meal and don't go to Google. Okay. So last line for you guys, heal your gut to heal your life at a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic level. When you heal your body, you heal your relationships. Your entire family benefits from it. If you're diseased, there is a domino effect on the entire family, your company, and the nation. So it all begins with self-love and self-care. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dimple. It was an amazing session. Personally, I have a lot of takeaways from this session in terms of what should be eaten and what should be avoided. And the most important part is to what should you mix with what, right? I've been a huge banana milkshake fan. I guess I'm not going to have it anymore. So I think all the audience also had a lot of things to take away from this session. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you for doing this for us. I hope a lot of people will get in touch with you and move towards a holistic well-being path.
Absolutely. I'll share the links with you, Shiva. I can see
Great.
the questions are still coming in. Thank you guys for being such wonderful audience. I will share the discounted links exclusively for Ethika Insurance Broking. Please use these links to book a consultation or an academic course.
Yeah.
All right.
And thank you so much, audience, for staying throughout the session. You will receive a link to the recording of this session and also the links that Dr. Dimple is going to share. I hope you enjoyed the session today, and we are doing a next session on mastering Microsoft Excel next Friday. So see you all there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. And do follow on Instagram and place a comment there if you'd like some questions to be answered. Happy to take it up. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.